Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
A personal car is a convenient, comfortable, reliable, and fast means of transportation. Often the operational properties of a car, as stipulated in the regulations, are not enough for the car owner if the car is intended to be used as a unit for moving cargo or auxiliary transportation structures. Such extension of the vehicle's functionality is possible by installing a special device that allows the vehicle to be used to move loads and structures. If the car is not equipped with a trailer mechanism from the factory, the car owner needs to understand the legal nuances that predetermine the possibility of its installation on the car in operation as intended. Let's consider in the article, what is a trailer hitch for the car from a constructive position, types of authorized to install mechanisms, the peculiarities of legalization of traction couplers and punishment provided for their improper installation, history of origin and deciphering of the concept. The appearance of the first trailers for vehicles is historically recorded during the World War, when there was a technical need for rapid movement of heavy loads, with defensive purposes, and human capabilities were not enough for this. A lot of time has passed since those times, and now trailers are actively used for solving technical and household tasks. Trailer structures designed to move loads of different categories are mounted on the vehicle, allowing correct gradation of the load on the working elements and mechanisms of the towing vehicle. As for terminology, the most common mechanisms for attaching towing units are called trailed, and you can also meet analog names, such as tow bar or towing hitch, under the abbreviation TCU. The most widely used in the normative automotive vocabulary is the word tow bar, the origin of which no one knows 100%. As a variant of the origin of the term, some experts put forward the version that it comes from the German words head and go, in combination sounding like Fahrkopf, shortened over time to the familiar in the present time the name tow bar. There is a version that the name is taken from a device that was used for the suspension element on a horse-drawn cart for the purpose of transportation of heavy loads. Regardless of the fact, what is the true origin of the word, the term tow bar is similar in meaning to the phrase trailer hitch, actively used for the name of the coupling structure. Let us further consider the design features of commercially available mechanisms, their advantages and operational disadvantages, which will help to predetermine the possibility of installation and use of a particular traction element in each case. Trailer configurations, design features. Trailer mechanisms differ among themselves not only in appearance, but also in design and technical features, which predetermines, for the car owner, before purchasing a particular model, to determine the type and weight of the trailer system intended for the transportation of goods. There are 3 configurations of trailer elements on sale. Trailer bracket. This trailer hitch for a car is very common abroad, used for transporting motorhomes, characterized by high pulling power and a reliable fastening mechanism, the configuration of which almost completely eliminates the possibility of stealing the trailer. The bracket model of this type has the shape of a square. The mating element on the trailer is of similar configuration. Installations on the machine under the square differ in size, depending on the allowable maximum load, predetermined by the weight of the trailer. The structural advantage of this type of brackets is the presence of a locking mechanism with a lock, which allows you to protect the trailer from theft. The only disadvantage of such designs is the difficulty of finding them. They are practically not available on the domestic markets. You will have to order them through special websites or dealer stores. Trail ball. This type of trail device is the most common among domestic consumers, characterized as a universal mechanism. Among the advantageous characteristics of units of this category, users call the simplicity of installation, uncomplicated operation. The design has decent coupling characteristics, and the tow bar in the form of a ball acts as a huge bearing. The counterpart for attaching the trailer drawbar to the tow bar is a head of the appropriate size. This design provides free running of the trailer, no backlash and no drag force, excellent braking performance. Trailer device designed for a passenger car in the form of a towing hook, a design previously used for transportation of goods by Cars with increased characteristics of cross-country ability. This type of attachment is the least convenient in operation, involves certain difficulties both during installation and when used as intended. A particular disadvantage of such a device is the presence of shock loads during the transportation of cargo, which is reflected in the reduction of the operating period of the hook. Accordingly, the first or second type of tow bars should be given priority when purchasing attachment mechanisms, taking into account the modification of the trailer and its attachment mating element. Hook tow bars are less reliable. Experts say that such modifications will soon be completely withdrawn from market sales. When selecting the mechanism, it is worth considering its suitability for the body type and vehicle model. Legislative aspects of tow bar installation, to register or not to register. Every car owner, before purchasing and installing a tow bar, faces a dilemma whether or not the installation of the device will be legal, whether the trailer can be installed on the car and operated as intended with impunity. The answer to this question should be sought in the legislative code on the conversion of the car and the regulations of the vehicle itself. Legal regulations on the conversion of vehicles are registered in the Technical Regulation on the Safety of Wheeled Vehicles, and traffic police officers justify the legality of modernization of the car with Article 12.5, prescribed in the CORF. According to the technical regulations, the tow bar is not included in the units that are subject to mandatory registration in cases where the installation is regulated by the manufacturer of the car. Most car manufacturers authorize the permissibility of installing a trailer hitch for transporting a trailer on a passenger car from the factory, predetermining the places for its attachment. Information on the permissibility of installation of additional equipment in the form of a tow bar must be specified in the technical documentation for the car and in the load plate located on the driver's side of the car or in the underhood compartment. The installation of a tow bar is not subject to registration under the following conditions. The installation and operation of towed equipment is authorized by the manufacturer. A factory design is installed on the vehicle, which has a certificate of conformity of the device model to the specific vehicle. When installing the tow bar, no structural changes are made. The installation is carried out in accordance with the regulations of the instructions for the equipment. In situations where the regulations to the car does not have permission to operate a passenger car as a means of transportation, or the installation of the purchased tow bar involves welding or drilling work, the equipment must be registered in the Department of the Traffic Police. Cases when installation of a tow bar is prohibited by law. The majority of passenger cars have a note in the vehicle registration certificate on the approval of installation of a tow bar. This information can be found in the documentation for the purchased vehicle or, in the absence of data, request it from the dealer or directly from the vehicle manufacturer. A categorical ban on equipping a car of the passenger car category is authorized exclusively in those situations where the factory excludes the possibility of using the car as a traction force for the transportation of goods, including trailers, due to the design and technical features of the car. Other situations provide for the impunity of installing a tow bar and its use for its intended purpose, without registration in the Traffic Police Department. If the tow bar provides for installation without interfering with the design of the car and the mechanism, has quality certificates, and is mounted according to the requirements of the car manufacturer. With obtaining a permit, when the installation of the tow bar with interference in the design of the vehicle. When using the towing device on passenger cars, it is worth considering that the weight of the trailer should not exceed the weight of the loaded car, and the total tonnage of the car with the trailer cannot exceed the figure of 3.5. Let's consider what documentation the driver must have when operating a tow bar in each of the situations, how to legalize the traction power device, if such registration is required by law, required documentation and nuances of registration. The operation of vehicles with a tow bar provides the car owner with the following documents: passport of the installed equipment, containing data on its installation. The passport must contain a mark of the service station where the tow bar was installed on the car. Certificate for the installed equipment. Act on the work performed on the installation. Such documents will be sufficient for the road inspection in situations where the installed tow bar is certified for use on a particular model of vehicle. In other cases, when the equipment used is not specified in the user manual as acceptable for use, has peculiarities on installation. Then the car owner should take care, in order to avoid problems with the law, to register the towing and hitching structure. Let us consider in detail the algorithm, which is the answer to the question of how to draw up a trailer for use on a passenger car, in compliance with all legislative, procedural norms. The procedure involves the following activities: visiting the traffic police department, where it is necessary to submit an application, which contains a petition for a preliminary examination with subsequent authorization for the installation of traction equipment. Together with the application, the car owner must submit the STS, PTS, and their copies, documentation for the installed unit. After receiving the verdict of GIBDD experts, on the basis of the permit, the vehicle owner should apply to a specialized center with the authority to carry out installation works and install the equipment on a passenger car. Confirmation of specialized installation is the act of work performed by the performer, declaration, and certificate of conformity of the installation. The above documents give the right to apply to an organization authorized to inspect the changes and issue a diagnostic card to the traffic police department to provide the car for the final examination. The car owner must submit to the traffic police authorities a declaration from the service center, a diagnostic sheet certifying the safety of the changes made, documents for the car and the installed part, the original permission to install the TCU from the expert committee. After the technical examination in the traffic police department and verification of the submitted documents, the car owner will be issued a certificate authorizing the operation of the car with the installed coupling and towing equipment. The certificate confirming the safety of the installation is a guarantee of unpunished operation of the vehicle with a tow bar installed. It should not be forgotten that the trailer, which will be used for transportation of goods, also requires legalization. Penalties for improper installation of the tow bar. The coupling structure for cargo transportation, although not identified in the legislative documentation as an additional equipment of the car, for inappropriate installation or installation with non-compliance with the regulations implies a financial penalty for the car owner. The punishment is predetermined by Article 12.5 of the Administrative Code of the Russian Federation, which predetermines a fine of 500 to 5,000 rubles in such situations. Lack of documents for the tow bar or non-compliance of the towing structure with the standards set by the car manufacturer. The tow bar is installed in an inappropriate place or with technical defects. Technical defect of the structure. The measure of punishment is predetermined by the criteria of danger, which the car owner bears when operating a car with a TCU not complying with the standards of the sample or with its incorrect installation. Experts recommend to have documents that confirm the fact that the tow bar is safe to use. Otherwise, the owner of the car will face monetary penalties. If the fine is not recognized, it will have to be challenged in court, which is not always advantageous from a financial point of view. To summarize, TCU, like any other attachments or additional equipment, must be installed wisely. And the explanation in this situation lies not only in the prospect of meeting with law enforcement agencies, which can be penalized with a fine, but also in personal safety on the road. Installation of inappropriate equipment and its operation, especially if it violates the design of the car, reduces the safety of the vehicle several times, which may entail precedents that threaten the health and life of the driver, passengers, bystanders, or other car owners. If the TCU is extremely necessary, select designs authorized by the car manufacturer, preferring installation work in specialized centers, which will predetermine the quality of the procedure, installation in compliance with technology, and guarantee the safety of the device in operation. In conclusion, understanding the purpose and types of trailer hitches is essential for anyone looking to tow safely and effectively. Proper installation is crucial to ensure both your safety and the safety of others on the road. Additionally, being aware of the penalties for unlawful use can help you avoid costly fines and legal issues. By following the guidelines discussed in this video, you can make informed decisions and enjoy a hassle-free towing experience. Thank you for watching, and stay safe on the road.